Alrighty, let's get to it. So we've been going through this last round of book reviews. We had How to Not Die Alone, Jamaica Kincaid, and The Unfair Advantage. And I just realized now, just doing this, I have shitted on every single one of these in some way. And now I'm starting to realize why, now that I'm doing this, why I have had such a hard time. It's been like 6 months. It was like last May was when I queued up all of these, and now it's September. Uh, I think I've got a clue. Is I hated practically hated every single one of these. Well, I did not like any of these, so it was hard to get through. It was difficult to get through most of these, all of these so far. Just going by the reviews. I don't know why I'm wearing this. We were listening. What it was is I was listening to so I did like the impromptu review, like during my of Unfair Advantage when I was doing the review. So it was like I was on the trail, I was backpacking or whatever, and I did like an impromptu review that I cut into the middle of that last review. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. But that's why I was wearing the headphones. Yeah. Um, this week is Tale of Two Cities, and we kind of highlighted. Uh, as you can see, we've made it about that far. To be fair, I do believe this last remaining bit right here is all appendix. So this is the rest. This is the full book right here, right here, and this is what I have remaining. So I guess I'm like a third of the way through the book. This one's a chore, and having learned from trudging through these, um, I am abandoning Tale of Two Cities. Maybe I will revisit it later, but it is about the most boring thing that I have read, fiction thing that I have read in recent memory. And they're saying something because I mean, I know a lot of people like Dickens, a lot of people like this book in particular. Um, but it's just not connecting with anybody. Like, I don't understand the why is he returned to life and blah 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 and the characters. I'm not connecting with the characters. They seem to like why are they going to get this dude out of like France or whatever's going on, and I the I feel like my time's being wasted with this book. That's the way I read it. I don't feel like there's an economy. There's any attempt of economy with the words that are being used. I'm just reading books and it feels like the author is just filling space on the page to me. Now, since then, I'm like, I'm reading the book and I'm like, what? I've heard like Dickens is like one of the greats or whatever. I'm like, well, I can't be the only one that's having trouble reading this book or whatever. So I start reading around. And apparently, this was like put out in like serial form or something. So he was paid by the word or something. And so some people say that he was just fluffing everything up. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it definitely fits my assessment of the book and why I hate it. I feel like everything that has happened so far could have been done in a chapter or two. Like I feel like up to now we've just gotten into like uh whatever the patriarch or whatever has been returned to his home, with his daughter or whatever, and they're just now getting situated or whatever. I can't even remember the names of the characters and everything, just because it goes on and on and on. And on. But I feel like that was just like that should have just been like a short prelude, like maybe a chapter or two, and this is like chapter 8. We're third of the way book. We're we're a third of the way through the book, and I feel like that should have been maybe a tenth of the book to get to where we are. It just feels like we've spent so much time, and I don't know what we spent all the time on because it's not like it's world building. Well, like I read Tolkien, and he goes on these tangents, right, where he just starts talking about the Elven language or starts singing songs and stuff like that. But it's adding life to the world, right? And it's making the scene richer, it seems like. But this is just maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets better, but I'm not gonna find out because I am done with this book. Um Maybe some other day I will, after having read some other Dickens stuff, and maybe I'll fall in love with one of the other. I heard Oliver Twist is really good. Maybe I'll try Oliver Twist. Um, but I am going to abandon Tale of Two Cities. Um, that's just me. I haven't really connected with the book. As for the book itself, as you can see, it's really nice looking book, right? This is a Penguin Classic, but I think this is the cloth-bound classic. Yeah, this is cloth-bound classic. Um, and it came. Obviously, it's bound in this like cloth here, and it's pretty nice. It feels like this feels like a really sturdy book. Feels pretty decent quality, but it's not nice to read. The book is I don't know if you can tell, it's a bit small for the size of the book. I feel like it feels a bit small, and you see it doesn't really open up right. I don't know anything about binding, but I've heard people say that the binding on these is not very good. It's not even a high quality binding, but it doesn't open up. And I have spent some time, fair amount of time with this book, and it's still not. It it just doesn't. It's not a nice experience to read with this. Right? I feel like it would have been nicer to have even just like these modern books right here. It opens up. It's got a nicer size. I feel like having that form factor would have been a bit nicer. Just a larger print, a little bit a wider open would have been a nicer book bind. But this is, I feel like they spent what money they spent on the design, like the aesthetic, instead of the actual, the physical, the haptics of the book or whatever. Which is odd because Penguin is a book company. You think they would know how to make a good book binding, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy another one unless it's a particularly thin book, like maybe a third of this size. I might buy just to try a different one. Maybe this was like at one of their earlier ones, and they got better as they started adding more books to the collection. Maybe I don't know, but we're just getting into the book collecting thing. So I had bought this, and this was another Penguin Classic, but this is just a Penguin Classic, I think. This was a cloth bound classic, so they had different versions. But anyway, this was Tale of Two Cities. But I don't want to just leave that at that. Um, One book that I did find good was just a random book. So I'll put this in the title too. It's called The Intellectual Devotional. And this was a gift. I think it was either by my mother or my grandmother or my aunt or somebody. I can't remember. They gave me this book because they know I'm a super nerd. And it's basically like it's like the intellectual devotional. Revive your mind, complete your education, and roam confidently with a cultured class. And this is just a nice review. Anybody who's fairly well educated will. I think I hear a child screaming outdoors, probably next door. But anyway, anybody who's fairly decently educated is going to know most of these topics, at least in some depth. But it's nice because basically this is a toilet reader. That's the best use for it is, put it in the toilet instead of swiping over your phone, you just read the little book. And so that's what I did. And I'll just read this. There's supposed to be one, it's done every day. So Monday, day one, Wednesday, Tuesday, day two, Wednesday, day three. So you're supposed to read like every day, but I just read straight through it. It's nice. They've got it's broken into history, literature, visual arts, science, music, philosophy, and religion, and it covers. Everybody talks about the ozone layer and the David sculpture, right? And Lolita and Starry Night and Pietro Ilyich Tchaikovsky and modality, and it's music and philosophy and yeah, but it's a nice little like refresher kind of survey thing, and I found it. I learned a few things. I knew about most of the things in this book, but it was nice. You had that refresher, right? Because you forget the details of stuff. So like I can't remember like there's like Plato. I can never they did the whole like philosophy thing like Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle, and I always get them mixed up. I'm like Aristotle was like Plato was like Aristotle's student, and then Socrates was with the relationship. I always forget who did what exactly what, and even now I'm like who was what. And so there's Plato, and there's probably the next one is Socrates. He talks about the forms. Yeah, he talks about the forms, which is Plato's stuff, right? It basically goes through all that Plato's cave allegory. So he goes through like all the classic philosophy stuff, and which you forget the details. Like I said, I can't remember exactly. It was Plato, and then it was Socrates, and then it was Aristotle, and was Aristotle taught Napoleon or something? I can't remember the exact details. You know of these people, you have a vague recollection, but you can't remember the details. That's what the book talked about. So it's just a little bit of not necessarily in-depth intellectual stimulation, just a little bit of a brief refresher. And it's good. I liked it. This is by David S. Kidler and Noah S. Oppenheim. The spiel on the back is daily devotionals have long been a favorite tool by those looking regular doses of spiritual growth. The intellectual devotional is a secular compendium in the same tradition. 1 year's worth of daily readings that will refresh the spirit, stimulate the mind, and help complete your education. These readings, drawn from different fields of knowledge, history, literature, visual arts, science, music, philosophy, and religion, will keep your mind sharp and refresh your spirit. I liked it. One of the so we finished off the queue with the toilet reader, which was great. So that's that. So yeah, so this review is going to be Tell It Two Cities / the Intellectual Devotional. Nobody's gonna. I don't know that you'll find this book just like on the shelf. Maybe they have an updated version or something like that. But I don't know. I liked it. It was like $20. Yeah, $22 or something. I don't even know if this you could even buy it anymore, but somebody had gifted it to me, and I put it on the toilet, and that's what we're reading. But the next up is Influence. The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini, PhD, something like that. One of those. One of these. This is another one of the productivity books that uh, I queued up all at once. I bought way too many. So this is one of the last, if not the last, quote unquote, productivity books that I bought when I went on that spiel. But yeah, so that's next up. It's coming up after Eyes Are Watching God, Restoration and Agriculture, Dilemma of a Ghost, and Anawa, and Influence. So that's what's coming up next. As for the toilet reader, we replaced it with the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This is another. This is Penguin Classic, another terribly small, really difficult to use book, but we'll get to that when we get to this. And this is going to take a while to get through. Like I said, it's a toilet reader because I'll put this as a toilet reader, but actually it's not the first thing. The first is I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, just a brand new DM, so I'm doing this right now. So, but yeah. Now you know what I'm reading on the toilet. That and the Lady Dungeon Measure. So we got the side reading taken care of. So yeah, so that's the cue. Next time you see me, it'll be probably reviewing one of these books, and I will finally be wearing a new shirt. So yeah, I hope you guys had a good day, and I'll catch you guys next time.